All right, welcome to another episode of Seeds of Music. I'm your host, Kyle Williams, and this is the #1 web show where aspiring independent artists, musicians, and producers can learn right now how to gain wider exposure, grow a strong base of awesome, supportive, raving fans, and make a living doing what they love, what we all musicians love, and that is making music and making money from it so we can live. I mean, what's better than that? So today on the show we have Ladina Spence, and what's cool about Ladina is she is the daughter of one of our previous guests, Andrew Spence, who is a Los Angeles-based pop producer. What we're going to be talking about is how to move past a crushing failure and hit a creative boom and productive streak. Because for Ladina, she was a contestant on Disney's Next Big Thing in 2011 and was voted off in the first round. So it's like gotta be really horrible horrible in terms of how it can make you feel if you choose to. But it all comes down to choice, guys. And the cool thing about Ladina is that she chose to soldier on. So we're gonna talk about what kind of mentality it takes to be able to get past crushing failure. All right, and hope to see you guys in the comment section afterwards. Let me know what you think of the interview. All right, help me improve it. So, see you then. Okay, Ladina, thanks for coming on to Seeds of Music today.
Thank you for having me.
Excellent. The first question I wanted to jump into is probably would be the hardest, but I just wanted to, I feel like it's just like a really important thing to ask. You've been doing music since you were very, very little, and it seems like all of your hard work came to a head when you were a contestant on Disney's Next Big Thing back in 2011, and were voted off in the first round. How did you mentally work past that setback, and how important do you see setbacks for like your growth as an artist? Because obviously you didn't quit. You're still going at it.
Right. Well, the elimination, it was, of course, a letdown. Of course, I wanted to continue.
Yeah.
But it was, everything happens for a reason. I strongly believe that. And, I'm never going to stop, and I knew I was never going to stop, even if this competition decided to end. But I had loads of fun, and it was kind of disappointing, but I had fun, and that's what's important to me. And I got to experience these things that are already, it's so wonderful that it didn't really matter at that point if I was really voted off, because I got to have that experience to begin with, so I was really thankful for it.
And what did you think was like the key thing that you learned during that experience? Was it how to prepare for like a big show, or how to keep calm before going on stage? Was there like a specific lesson that you learned from that?
I definitely got to see how it is if you would be on tour, or if you would constantly be performing places, and how you constantly sleep and then get ready, and it's so exciting to travel to this hotel and then go over here and perform there, and of course I was nervous, but if you perform like every day and at this place, at that place, then all of a sudden, you get used to it, and then you have so much fun performing on stage, and I just love the whole experience and all. And lessons probably would be, I'm not sure, I think it just gave me a sneak peek to how it is, and I really love the vibe of it and everything included, so.
Yeah. So for you it was just, had you ever had any touring experience before?
No, not at all.
Okay, so it was kind of like boot camp for you.
Yeah.
Just running through and learning it all on the fly. How important did you have family traveling with you on the tour, or were you just by yourself? Or?
Well, if there was a Hollywood and Highland concert I had here, so my whole family, since we live in that area, they all came to support me, and to a lot of them, when I went out of state, my mom came with me. And we slept in a hotel and woke up early with our alarm clocks ringing. But yeah, she was with me most of the time because my dad was working. But yeah.
How important has your mom's role been in just maybe not just the touring, but in the creation of your music, or just the you having like the motivation to wake up early every day and work hard?
Well, I've always looked up to my parents, both of them, because I've always been around music, So she's always inspired me to want to sing like her and to want to be like her and get up and just it's just an ongoing inspiration looking at my parents and being able to write songs with them together, because I wrote songs with my mom before, and it's just we all understand each other. It's a great team. I love it. And yeah, so she inspires me every day to wake up and be just like her.
So Ladina, how important has it been having like a mentor, you know, not just for, I mean, I know it's understand like your mentor is your mom, but also just having a musical mentor. Has that really made things like your progression move faster?
It definitely has. I mean, always getting advice from somebody who has experience, who's been through the process and constantly trying to help me and push me to grow better is definitely something that's important. And yeah,
No, it makes sense. It makes sense though. Yeah, because they can kind of, since they have the experience that you don't have, right. It seems like they can help you avoid common mistakes that most people have to make the mistakes to learn, but you actually have the benefit of realizing that beforehand. Is there any like one big mistake that stands out that you've been able to avoid by having a mentor like your mom?
It's probably would be before performing in a show. She always tells me I should relax and breathe and have fun with it. And I think I worry so much, or I'm like, it depends. Sometimes I worry too much and then I grow nervous and then I don't have as much fun on stage compared to being fun and relaxing, just going out there and showing them, you know, what I have to say. And I must say that's one big mistake that I make sometimes, but that I definitely try my best on and try and correct, and she gives me advice on. Same with my dad.
So do you think the key to having like a great performance is having fun?
I definitely do, yeah, because the minute you get on that stage and you're happy and you're fun and you really, if you get in that joking mood and you don't care what people think and you just go up and then you feel confident in yourself and you feel as though like you know already the message of your song and you can deliver it right then and there, and even if you're happy and having fun, you can still perform a sad song with confidence, and it's just a great feeling just to be happy and not care at that moment and just do you. I love that.
Yeah, I can relate to that too. I like feeling like what I'm doing is, I mean, because if what you're doing isn't fun, then it's kind of like that reason that you're doing it is not strong enough, so it becomes more difficult to, like you were saying, wake up at really early in the morning and write songs or record or go to the studio or, you know, practice vocals or piano, whatever it is like a musician would do. You know, over the past like 2 years, you know, since Disney's next big thing, have you felt more galvanized to be more productive? You know, to basically come back and say like, hey, you know, I'm going to come back with like 20 new tracks and they're going to be awesome, and I'm just going to write. Have you felt more productive over the past 2 years?
Since that experience, since it gave me such a sneak peek at it, it kind of drove me into realizing, wow, this is really great. I mean, I already had a vision of how it would be. So knowing that that's how it would be and that's how it looks like, that within itself kind of drives me to keep going and keep making this, because I know things like that could happen, which I've enjoyed so much.
Yeah.
So it definitely gave me a little push extra, but I was still going to keep going. I mean, no matter what.
Yeah, of course, because you love it, so you got to keep going. But having that added perspective, you know, of like, this is what it's actually, because like your goal is to, you know, I mean, tell me, what is your ultimate goal with music? Where do you want to be in your ultimate dream?
Well, I think one important part in my life that I feel as though I should accomplish with my music is that I want to get to a stage where I can perform and have people chanting a song that is against bullying or is against racial discrimination, and a message, and I want everybody to chant it, and I want everybody to feel empowered with what I'm trying to say in my song, because I really love to help people. And that's a really important part. That's as much equal as music is to me, is to help people. And I feel as though music is number one way I can do that, while enjoying it at the same time, loving it so much. And that's definitely my goal, is to empower people at the same time. And yeah.
That's good, because great music has impact, you know? I mean, that's going to be the thing that will set what you do apart. You know, it's like, do people connect with it? Do people, you know, remember the lyrics and chant them back and come to the concerts and really have an experience outside of it? So, yeah, that's very good. That's very good. Very pleasant to hear. So for all these like new songs, do you have like an approach that's different than maybe before you went on Disney's Next Big Thing? I mean, with this new perspective, do you have like a different approach for writing or recording these?
I wouldn't say a different one than the Next Big Thing experience, because whenever I write music in any way, even if it was before, even though I've experienced worse situations now, but I base them off of things that happen to me, things that I hear in the news that upset me, things that I have something to say about. And I still had that way of writing before MBT, but after MBT I also learned a lot more in life, just because I'm growing up, and then I got to write more things and learn more and say them in my songs. So so
your songs are a reflection of life, and the more experience in life, then the more your songs grow. Okay. Can you tell me about like your latest track, Leave the Lights On? Like, what is that? I mean, how did that grow out of this, and what does that song mean to you?
Well, Leave the Lights On is actually a cover song, but what it means to me is actually that you have to have fun. That song, whenever I hear it, I love listening to the beat, and it doesn't necessarily, not every song of mine necessarily has to have a huge like story behind it. And I believe Leave the Lights On is sort of to let loose and have fun and relax and listen to the dancey beat. And there's something mysterious about it as well, because it's about keeping secrets to me, and it's really fun, and I just love it.
Who have you worked with on that track?
Well, my dad, he recorded me, of course.
Okay.
And then
which we had on a previous interview. Anyone watching, go check it out. Andrew Spence.
But and then we recorded it in the studio, and then we shot the Leave the Lights On video, which is, by the way, coming out on Wednesday.
All right.
Which is super exciting. But we had this Leave the Lights On track that we recorded, and we shot the music video for, and it was kind of like a new take on it. I'm not going to tell you too much, because it's just
okay. All right. We'll have the link up. We'll have it linked up below so people can check it out.
Cool. Thank you.
So, beyond that, like what's your approach to working on your actual vocal, like practicing work? Because I noticed that your voice has like a pretty distinct sound. Like if I heard you singing in a crowd of other women, I'd be able to pick out your voice. I mean, what do you think attributes to that uniqueness? Is it a way that you've developed your vocal cords, or is it just the natural way that they're built?
I think, well, over the time, I was growing up, and my parents kind of let me develop my own little style of singing and just listen to what I had to say in my songs. And I think for me, when I sing, I think the biggest thing that attributes to my vocal way of singing is the feeling of the song, and how you can whisper something kind of with your voice and make it so, I don't know, I can't really describe it in words, but it's kind of the feeling that attributes to it. But as in the range of singing and the kind of singing, I think also at the same time I had questions a lot of times, and I went to my mom, and she helped me grow and gave me advice on how to do this and helped me with this, and then she practiced with me.
Oh, okay.
And it's lovely, and my dad too.
So what would you think would be like 3 like critical pieces of advice for developing your own unique voice that you learned from either your father or mother?
Um, I think I'm not really sure. I'm just
Maybe learning to breathe, or like singing from the diaphragm, or I mean, is there any like just like a technique that when you warm up, that keeps you from hurting your voice? Is there anything that's like advice that's really stuck out to you that's helped you?
um, I'd have to say I really love, for example, when you keep your voice open and strong and
Okay.
big, and then have a lot like rather than little like I don't know. I'd rather have it like open and say something, kind of get little scratches here with your voice and do little things here and
Yeah.
like what was that?
Oh yeah, so having little nuances, but just like not I guess not constricting your voice so that you don't really come out with full power.
Yeah, yeah. And to relax, of course, relax and feel into it and feel into the rhythm and just keep practicing. I mean, people have different ways of singing. I think some singers feel into their music more as head voices rather than going all out in the sense of Beyonce, for example. Like she'll go all out with every note, she'll sing it with her full power, while other, like Elle Goulding, um, the new pop artist, she was singing with her head voice more, and that's her own unique style. And
Yeah.
I don't know, everybody has their own little thing of how to sing.
Okay.
I don't know, I just sing like this.
Yeah, so it's more intuitive. For you, you've done it so long, it's more intuitive than, it's like you can't really put it into words, you just do it.
I mean, it's changed over the years, of course. I mean, I started as little kid, and then I was singing like a Barbie song or something, and then I was singing it with this little voice. And I decided to move on to pretty much my first recording of I Love You, and I kind of experienced that jazzy feeling first there, and I kind of, like, oh, I like this feeling I have here, and I like the way I'm doing my voice here, and I don't like it here, and then I change it, and then I kind of just grew into what I am now and how I sing now. But of course, there's always something I want to improve or fix or do differently, or I like this part, and yeah.
If there's one thing that you could improve, like about your voice, what would it be?
It would probably be to relax more when I hit the higher notes,
Hmm.
to relax more and be more open and try and get it to the same feel as I have on the lower notes rather than being closed up. When I
Closing up, yeah.
Yeah, just relax and breathe. And I felt as though, as I've tried it before, I felt as though it does happen that if you relax more, then you could hit them easier. And yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Relaxation. Is there an approach you have to like being more relaxed? Like, do you just like breathe deeply, or?
I'd probably say that, well, just to not put so much stress and pressure on yourself as, oh, I have to hit this, I have to hit
Okay.
this. Just relax, you can hit this, you can do this, then
Okay.
you'll do it. But if I tell myself, oh my God, ugh, I have to do this, then I won't relax. But just to take a breather and
Yeah.
just try it again and know that I'm able to do it and believe in myself, then that's definitely a big part that will make me be able to do that.
Yeah, because if you're putting pressure and not having fun,
Yeah.
so if you have fun, then you'll hit the notes.
hmm
Are you do you play any other instruments?
I play the piano. So, yeah, I play the piano, and my dad, he's a piano player, so he's taught me as little. I was taught piano lessons I had with my dad of classical songs and things like that. So, and then I kind of developed it, and I love how you can sit at the piano and you can sing and be on the piano playing the notes because it's kind of like you're trying to do the same feeling on the piano as you are with your voice.
Hmm.
And if your voice is accompanied by the piano, it also sounds a lot better in the same feeling and it's just like perfect.
Are
But
you
yeah, it's definitely harder
are
to
you
concentrate on both.
are you performing piano on any of the songs, or?
Yes, I am, yeah. There's a cover song on YouTube called Family Portrait,
Okay.
which I'm playing the piano on. And then there's also a song I wrote called Katie. and I'm playing the piano there completely. I just sat down one day after I heard this girl passed away, which is what the song's about, because of bullying, suicide, which is one thing I'd strongly stand for.
Okay.
And she passed away, and it broke my heart because she's just like me. She's my age. And, it hurts me to see that there's people out there being treated this way, and I can't understand how people do that to each other. But I sat down at the piano and I was writing, and I just started with lyrics, and then I kind of added the piano here and there. And next thing you know, I was there for 2 hours, and I finished a song, Katie, which I then showed to my dad and we recorded.
So is that how most of the writing happens? Like you'll hear about something, a story that makes you very emotional, and then you just take that, channel it, put some piano on it, and write some lyrics? And does it all happen just kind of like boom like that? Or do you ever sit down with the idea of, okay, I'm going to write a song because today's songwriting day, or I don't know, you have like a schedule? I mean, how does it exactly work out for you?
Well, it definitely doesn't work out if I sit down and say today's songwriting day. No. Because then I'd sit there and try and rhyme words, or it doesn't even make sense, or I don't feel into it or anything. But if there's a topic that, like bullying or homeless or even having fun or making the positive out of a situation, if I feel into that today and that's my mood today, then I can definitely sit down and one idea will flow out. And then the next one, then I'll be like, oh, okay. And then the next one, and then it'll be a lot easier, and it will sound a lot better than I just sit down and say, I have to write a song now. You definitely have to feel into it. That's a big part too, because you could have a writer's block for a while, and just like you would write stories and it just doesn't happen. And then you could have situations where you just keep coming and coming with more ideas and more ideas.
Have you ever hit writer's block?
Maybe a tiny bit, not like in a big amount, but maybe for a tiny bit, because I don't know. I think for a while, yeah, I did, but not for a long period of time. I just came up with another idea, and then I started developing it. And then I mean, sometimes you do have to push yourself a tiny bit, just to be able to get back in that mind and not be so easy as to just dismiss it, to say you have nothing to say that day. But
okay, so your strategy for dealing with writer's block was just to say, hey, I've got something to say, and just kind of push your way through it?
Kind of, yeah. But if I really can't, then I can't force myself to sit and write something if I really don't feel as though I can.
Okay, no, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. On a side note, I also heard you do a little comedy on YouTube. It was written on your website. Yeah. But is it? I'm not going to call you out and make you do a joke right now. But
I mean, I love to act like a valley girl. Because they're so funny. They'll talk like this, like totally talk like this. Oh yeah, I love it.
Is it refreshing to have a hobby or that's non-music related? It's outside of your main passion, just to kind of have a little break every now and then.
I think that's a healthy thing to say. Yeah, I definitely do believe in breaks, but I love to do this comedy thing. Well, that's just who I am. I mean, I sit at the dinner table and then I act out a whole thing of what I saw at school today, and then everyone starts laughing, and I love doing that. And I'll randomly think of a joke, and then I don't know, I just enjoy it so much. It makes me laugh. I have fun, and I'm happy with it, and then I just love to have fun.
Okay. Yeah, so it just kind of keeps life lighthearted, because it seems like your music's dealing with a lot of, deep, and sometimes like intense and tragic subject matter. So it's good to kind of, experience the lighter parts of life to kind of balance that out.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do think, I mean, the whole big portion of life is you're supposed to have fun. I mean, that's the best feeling in the world, and when you're laughing, you're having fun, you're with the people you love. I mean, that's a big part, and that's what I'm always going to do my best to try and do. And I mean, I believe that that's one of the bottom parts of life that you're supposed to have. And if you don't, then that's bad.
What do you do for fun outside of music and Valley Girl impressions? Like, do you go to theme parks. I don't know. I'm probably sounding like an old man right now. Like, do you go to theme parks or movies? No.
Well, the kind of person that I am, which is I'm surprised that I stick to singing so much, is that I change from this to this to now I'm bored of this to this. But I mean, sometimes if I'll have a period of time where I love to knit, and I'll knit my own little scarves, and then I'll give up on it, or I'll move to something else and I'll start drawing a design, and then, well, I've actually been horseback riding like the other week, and then I've been ice skating the other week before that, but yeah, all those things are fun, but I can never decide on one thing that I like to do.
Okay. Well, you like to, live up life, whatever it has to offer. So horseback riding right there is pretty awesome. I mean, yeah, you got that, and
cooking too.
Cooking, I suck at cooking. I mean, I enjoy it, but only when what I make ends up tasting good, which is usually not very often. But I've discovered the crock pot now. So I know I can just throw a bunch of stuff in there and walk away for 8 hours and come back and have something to eat. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. But so I have one last question for you. It's a kind of a fun little question. What is your favorite album, and what would your life be like if it never existed?
My favorite album from a different artist. I'd probably say Pink and her Misunderstood album. And that is because I read the little story behind that, and she went to record companies and they told her that she should change to adapt to this regular form of selling music and regular artists. And she said no, and that's why she named her album Misunderstood. And I like that a lot because she still sticks to who she is and what she believes in. She doesn't change for anything. And within the album, she has so many songs, and they do have meanings, like Family Portrait is one of the songs on that album, the cover that I've done. And I'll never get tired of singing that because it definitely shows the pain that she has felt from her family breaking apart. And I really think that she's completely put emotion into all those songs on her album, and that's one of the strongest ones. And then she has one that's different and unique, and she's flying on an airplane, and she has this whole little airplane flight attendant voice going on in the intercom in her music. Yeah, and then there's a Misunderstood track as well, which is the album title, and I just love that album a lot, and it empowers me, and I always used to listen to it when I go to school on a bus ride in the morning. But
so what would your life be like if that never existed? You just would have had boring bus rides, or would you have a different perspective on life?
I honestly wouldn't base it on that whole album, even though it was a really great one and I loved it a lot, but I'd say that just as my activities outside, I can't decide on what artist I like specifically. I like this song of this one and this song of the script. And I think without music in general, I don't know, it empowers me, it gives me strength. It kind of I feel into it, and that's one thing I also want people to do with my music, is to feel into it and feel exactly how I feel when I listen to Hall of Fame by The Script and feel empowered, and that's inspiring because you can do anything you want. And but that's definitely a big part of my life, other music, and I love it.
Yeah. Me too. Music's a big part of my life too, so we both share that in common. But Ladina, I have to say thanks for coming on and sharing all your insights. It's been a really awesome, unique interview. And
thanks for having me. And please like my page.
Okay.
And tweet me.
I'll have all the prevalent links linked up below, so everybody just check that out.
And remember to leave the lights on videos on Wednesday. It's exciting.
Okay. All right, Ladina.
Okay,
thanks
bye.
Again. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
And there goes another episode of Seeds of Music with Ladina Spence. In this case, make sure to check out all links provided below and keep up to date on what this young talented girl is doing, because what's cool, I say what's cool is a lot, don't I? But anyways, what's cool about Ladina, in addition to everything else, is that she's coming at it, music from a very, very genuine place, and definitely needs support to keep her music career going and keep it growing. And, you know, musicians, we all need to support each other because we're all in this together. That sounds so very, like, campfire-y, but it's true. It's definitely true. So check out our links below. Check out our new video that's coming out. Next, sign up for the email newsletter. The Seeds of Music email newsletter is where it's at. It's where all the communication happens, all the updates on new stuff that will be coming up on the site, hint, hint. And it's also where you'll never miss an interview because the interview comes straight to your inbox. You might be watching this straight from YouTube because that's where I host it. I host all the videos on YouTube because it's free, because I'm on a budget. But you know what? You need to be on the Seeds of Music email newsletter for the actual site. So head over to seedsofmusic.net and sign up, even if you're subscribed to YouTube. If you like this interview and you feel like you got some awesome information from it, or it touched you emotionally or intellectually, then make sure to click the like button for Facebook. Share it on Facebook. Share it on, Reddit. What else? What else is there? LinkedIn? Well, I don't know. LinkedIn. Whatever you use. There's a ton of platforms, and there's just so many. I can't name them all. But share it on those. Whatever your friends are on, share it there, and let's spread the seeds of music. So that's a different one. I think I'm auditioning Spread the Seeds of Music, but then that's too much like Jason Brain of Soapbox's tagline, which is spread the soap. So I don't know. Sow the seeds, toss the seeds. That sounds kind of weird, but eventually I'll come up with something cool. Like, you know what? Just comment on the video. Tell me what would be an awesome tagline for Seeds of Music for me to say at the end of the interview, or should I just shut up? I mean, I'm hoping that I can come up with something really awesome and memorable, and we'll put it on a t-shirt. Anyways, so what's your greatest takeaway from the interview? Leave that comment as well, and also tell me how you think you'll be able to apply what you've learned to your own situation. Tell me your story, tell me your story too, because I'm really interested to know what the story is if everybody's listening to these interviews. And maybe you want to be interviewed too, or maybe you know someone who wants to be interviewed. You can also leave that in the comment, or better yet, email me at my personal email address, kyle.seedsofmusic@gmail.com. And I hope to see you in the next interview. Peace.